Hey guys, so now is the time to finish the skirt of the dress. I think today we're going to actually get it done. So hopefully you guys are on the same page. Now here is my skirt laid out. I have one piece laying over another piece because we're going to sew them together. And I've actually already done the first step. So let me show you what I did. All I did was here's one piece and then underneath it is another piece. And I just put the right sides together. You can kind of see that this side is shinier and this side is shinier than this side. So that means those are the right sides. So I put the right sides together. And just on one side, so I picked this side, I pinned the two together. But I did leave a long enough amount. You should have a notch right here, that one of those triangles that you marked. And that is where you're going to sew to. So I just stopped my pin right there. And then I left all this open, and this will be open for the zipper that we'll put in later. And this is going to create the center back center seam of your dress. So just go and stitch this right now, a regular 5/8 inch stitch. Just turn your sewing machine on and you're going to be ready to go. Now, after you have the two bottom pieces of your skirt together, next you're going to get the third piece. So this is mine right here, and you're going to lay that so you have the right sides together again, and you're going to pin both sides. So I have this side pinned and I have this side pinned, and that way it's going to create the actual skirt. So you'll have the round skirt. The only opening is going to be up here, right there, where the zipper will go. Well, we'll do that in the next couple of steps. So now I'm going to go sew those side seams, and you're going to sew them the exact same way, 5/8 inch on your sewing machine, basic stitch. So meet back in a second. Okay, after we have the skirt stitched together, so you're going to have a nice hole at the top, that's the top of it, and then that's going to be the bottom of it. What you're going to do is, so that we can gather the skirt, because it will be pretty big right now, we're going to stitch a regular stitch around the top, and then we're going to stitch a basting stitch right next to it. So let's go do that right now, and I will show you how. So now first we're going to do the regular stitch. I'm going to start at one of my open ends. Okay, we were right. It's 5/8 inch for the regular stitch first. So I'm going to hold my strings and just stitch all along. This is the top of the skirt. Ooh, I'm going a little foot pedal crazy. So I'm just going to stitch a nice straight line, making sure I stay with the 5/8 inch. And you do have a lot of fabric, so just make sure it's not bunched and it's not falling off the table, because that usually messes me up, I know, especially doing a straight line. It seems like a straight line would be easy, but sometimes it's not. So we're going to keep going. Let me straighten out a little bit to get my fabric situated. And keep going. And we're going to get the tails. I'm going to open them. Keep stitching. Lay them flat. After you have the nice long stitch all around the top of your skirt, you're going to come over down your sewing machine and you're going to set it at 5.0 so that you have a nice long stitch, and that's just going to be creating a looser stitch, maybe is the right word. So what we're going to do is we're going to line it up at 1/4 inch from the edge of the fabric, so that's inside of where we just stitched on this side, and we're just going to stitch all the way around again. So hold my strings and go. And it should be creating, if you look back at it, hold on, I'll show you. If you look back and if you could see the two different kinds of stitches, I don't know if you guys can really tell, that one's a little bit longer and one's a little bit shorter. This is the shorter one, and then this is the longer one, the top one. So that's what you're just going to be doing all the way around the top of the dress, and then we'll come back. So do that right now. Okay, so next we're going to pin the midriff to the skirt. So that's the top to the bottom, pretty much. So here I have it. This is my midriff, kind of all bundled up. It's inside out, and then I have my skirt, which is also still inside out. And I've already started pinning. What you're going to do is you're going to match up your dots, your knock. The only thing that's going to match up is your back center seam. That will match up with the back skirt center seam, which is where the part that we left open for the zipper that we're going to do in a little bit. So then you're going to, there's the circles that you should have marked on your dress, and you're going to pin those together there on the sides, and then the seams on the front, those are going to go right underneath your bust. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull this string, the loose string that we have, we're going to pull that so we can tighten it to make it fit in here, and that's going to bunch it. It's like how we did the top for the bodice. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the back, find those strings, and I'm going to pull it until it fits, and then I'm going to pin it. So then we'll come back up for that. Okay, so here's my skirt pinned to the bodice. I have stuffed the bodice inside of the skirt so that I can go and sew it. And if you can kind of see that I've bunched it up, so it will be a little bunchy. We just have to be a lot more careful when we sew. This way it will create a nice effect for the dress. It'll just be gorgeous. So now I'm going to go sew it. I'm just going to sew a regular 5/8 inch stitch all the way around, making sure nothing's bunching nothing's bunching that shouldn't be bunching, and making sure I get all the fabric. You're also going to want to make sure that you're stitching so that you won't be able to see that line when you turn it inside out. So keep that in mind while you're stitching. So go do that.